Φίλες και φίλοι, καλώς ορίσατε σε ένα ακόμα Cinemusic Podcast. Είμαι ο Νίκος Γκάτσιος και σήμερα έχω τη χαρά και την τεράστια τιμή να φιλοξενώ μια μυθική φιγούρα του σινεμά δράσης των 80's. Έναν σκηνοθέτη που το όνομά του ταυτίστηκε με τη χρυσή εποχή της Canon Films, τις βιντεοκασέτες που μεγαλώσαμε και τα θερινά σινεμά. Μαζί μας λοιπόν είναι ο άνθρωπος πίσω από τα θρυλικά American Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja και το cult musical Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. Φίλες και φίλοι, ο σπουδαίος Sam Firstenberg. Συνδεόμαστε λοιπόν με το Λος Άντζελες για μια συνέντευξη εφόλης της ύλης. So, Mr. Firstenberg, thank you very much for joining us today on the Cinemusic Podcast. It is a true honor to have you with us, and I can tell you that the Greek audience is thrilled to hear your stories. So, let's take a look back at the very beginning. You were born in Poland and grew up in Jerusalem. What are your earliest memories of cinema, and what was the exact moment you realized you wanted to become a filmmaker and move to Los Angeles to study film?
The first movie I ever saw was the animated Bambi at the age of 5 or 6. It left a big impression on me. In the neighborhood where I grew up in the 1950s, there was a local movie theater. Every day it screens a matinee double feature in the afternoon that changed every week. Since the age of 7, I was a constant avid visitor to this theater every week. The type of movies I saw then was a mixture of Western, adventures, cheap science fiction, urban crime drama, war movies, musicals and so on, mostly from Hollywood, but also Italian, British and French, and sometimes even from India and Turkey. I was fascinated by this idea of a huge image flickering on the big screen in a dark hall with a bunch of other viewers, all hypnotized by the story told through images only. Much later, at the age of 18 and 19, after I finished the high school and was projecting 16mm movies to entertain friends, and then I started to imagine myself also making movies, not only renting and presenting them. At the age of 22, I took the bold step and moved to Hollywood.
Your name is forever linked with the legendary Canon Films. How did your path cross with Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus, and what was it like working inside that iconic 80s independent studio movie machine?
I met Menachem Golan in Los Angeles while I was student in a local film college. It was 1972, before he and his partner Yoram Globus had Canon Film. Menachem was preparing to direct the movie Lepke starring Tony Curtis, and I joined the filming crew and kept working for them after that for a few more years as assistant director in many movies. In 1979, when they purchased Canon Film, I was in the middle of directing my first full-length movie, One More Chance, while working on master degree in Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. When I ran out of money, I turned to them to help me complete the making of this movie. They agreed to do so, and after that, they just kept offering me to direct more and more film for the company. In the company, there was a great sense of enthusiasm to make one low-budget movie after another. So things moved very fast, and once they realized that I delivered the type of movie that they wanted, they did not bother me, and they did not get involved in what I was doing with the movies I directed. I pretty much had a free hand to do whatever I wanted, which was very good for me.
Okay, so you directed Revenge of the Ninja and American Ninja, creating a massive worldwide pop culture phenomenon. Did you realize back then, while shooting on tight budget and schedules, that you were shaping the childhood of millions of action movie fans around the world?
While directing the first movie, Revenge of the Ninja with Sho Kasugi, I had no idea that it will launch a ninja craze all over the world, except for Japan. I could not even imagine that such a thing will happen. Even when I directed the next movie, Ninja 3: The Domination, I still did not realize that it will have such an impact on the childhood of so many potential fans. Only after American Ninja came out, I started to understand what is happening. As you mentioned, those were all low budget and tight schedule movie. I did not have the luxury of directing a James Bond movie with mega $1 million budget. So nowadays, I can certainly say that this was a big, big surprise.
You worked with iconic action stars. So Kosugi was a real martial artist, while Mike Dudikoff was more of a traditional actor. How did your directing approach change between these two leads to get the best out of their action scenes?
Sho Kasugi was master of the arts, a phenomenal martial artist. So I actually learned a lot from him. He choreographed the fight scenes, and I made sure that whatever he does will look magnificent on the screen. Michael Dudikoff was a very athletic, very capable, and we had Master Mike Stone coaching him. So I don't think that I directed them differently. They were both capable and enthusiastic to perform, and so was Tadashi Yamashita, David Bradley, Steve James, and Lucinda Dickey, which I worked with them on other movies.
In 1984, you made a complete turn and directed Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, a movie about street dancing and bright colors. How challenging was it for an action director to suddenly direct a vibrant musical, and how do you feel about its huge cult status today?
First of all, let me state it that I love music, musical, and dance movies. So I was delighted when I was asked to direct a dance movie, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. Now, you are right that it was a bright and colorful in tone, and the truth is that I was happy to go this direction after two bloody and violent movies with dark elements. But from a technical point of view, directing action sequences or dance sequences is very similar. In both cases, there is a choreographer that puts together the sequence, either a fight number or a dance number. We usually discuss it before they start and decide on the overall direction of it and the way it should progress and look. Once the piece is ready, they show it to me, and I might ask for some changes or not. My job as a film director is to present it on the screen in the most impressive, exciting, and compelling way. Some fight sequences are actually dance numbers. Big action sequences, this is a different story.
You continued directing throughout the 90s, doing sci-fi and thrillers like Project Shadow Chaser 3 and Cyborg Cup. Looking back at your long career, how did the transition from the golden era of the 80s independent cinema to the digital age change the way you looked at filmmaking?
Every type of cinema, every style has a place under the sun. At the digital age, filmmakers can create more spectacular movie. Fantasy has no boundaries, no limitation. And now, with AI, we don't even know where filmmaking is heading. But whatever the means of movie making are, it doesn't matter. Because an engaging, compelling, emotional good movie is a good movie. And a flat, boring, bad movie is a bad movie, no matter in what shape or form.
Today, action movies rely heavily on CGI and green screens. As a director who mastered practical stunts, real martial arts, choreographies, and on-camera explosions, what is your opinion on modern action cinema? Do you think it has lost some of its soul?
When it comes to action and sci-fi, back in the era of low budget of the 80s, 1980s, everything that you see on the screen was actually performed physically for real. We did not have optical or digital visual effect. The action was performed by stunt doubles and by the actors themselves. Every jump, every fall, every somersault, every explosion, every car flips was real. In science fiction, we use mechanical puppets, makeup effects, and other physical tricks, but no blue screen, no digital effects. I believe that the audience watching the movie can feel the difference. The new modern movies has spectacular action sequences, but they are far from being real. The action sequences in the 80s movies were raw and gritty. You can feel the action happening in your gut. For the old-timer of us, it is nostalgic. This is the way we used to see action. But for the young viewer watching an old action movie, it might look less spectacular, but it feels more real. And they discover different style of action. For them, it's a novelty.
Your films were massive hits in the Greek VHS and open-air cinema era, and they still have a dedicated fan base here. To close this interview, what is your message to the audience of Cinemusic GR and all the Greek fans who still celebrate your work?
First of all, I want everybody to know that I love Greece. Αγαπώ την Ελλάδα. The food, the music, the islands, the way of life. But the answer, your question, I'm just in awe of this phenomenon that audiences and fans still remember and are still watching the low-budget movies that I directed 40 plus years ago. I feel blessed and honored that people in Greece and all over the world appreciate and enjoy my efforts. Thank you for having me in your podcast.
Sam, thank you so much for the bottom of my heart. It has been an absolute privilege and a dream come true to talk with you today. Thank you for your generosity, your time, and for making our childhood so exciting with your legendary films. You are always welcome in Greece, and we hope to see you here soon. So, thank you very much. Αυτός λοιπόν ήταν ο σπουδαίος Sam Firstenberg, κυρίες και κύριοι. Ένας πραγματικός gentleman του παγκοσμίου κινηματογράφου και ένας δημιουργός που άφησε ανεξίτηλο το σημάδι του στην pop κουλτούρα της δεκαετίας του 80. Ελπίζουμε να απολαύσατε αυτήν τη συζητησούλα όσο και εμείς. Μην ξεχάσετε να κάνετε like στο βίντεο, subscribe στο κανάλι μας, στο YouTube και να μας ακολουθήσετε και στο site μας το cinemusic.gr. Και βεβαίως τα podcast μας μπορείτε να τα ακούσετε και στο Spotify. Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ που ήσασταν μαζί μας. Μέχρι την επόμενη φορά να είστε καλά και να βλέπετε πολύ σινεμά. Τα λέμε στο επόμενο επεισόδιο.